value him as the head of our household. I value him as my husband. So because I value him, I'm going to be respectful of him in those positions, as well as I'm going to include him. Because there's nothing that I do either directly or indirectly impacts our household.
Yeah.
So, and it's going to have an impact on him. Even by me going back to school. Okay, I went back to school. I'm the one that have to study, whatever. But it's impacting our finances because we are paying for it.
Yeah.
Not just me, we are paying for it. It also impacts my time. And then, like, with residencies, like, it impacts our, schedule in the household. So I'm like, there's always going to be some sort of knock-on effect of whatever decision I make. Even if I'm just going out and hanging out, I'm like, stressful day. I still have to be responsible for the kids. Like, there's still things, and then that impacts him as far as time and, like, what we're going to eat. I mean, there's small things to big things.
Yeah.
But anyways, if I did not value him, if I did not trust him, then why did I marry him?
This is the B-side, 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 the marriage. This is the B-side, 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 the marriage.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Bside of Marriage Podcast. I am your host, Rashonda, and this is my husband and co-host,
Jason.
And here on this podcast, we talk about everything related to marriage, the good, the bad, the real,
the A and the B side.
And if you're watching us on YouTube, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're listening on any of the podcasting platforms, please be sure to rate and review so that others can help find the show.
Also, please be sure to follow us on Instagram at Bside of Marriage and on Facebook at The Bside of Marriage. And on to the show.
And now let's go to our first segment where we share our A or B side moment from the week. And you get to go first.
I'm gonna give an A side moment, and I'm gonna give actually kind of what just happened this morning for me. Okay. So last night I worked late, got in about 2:00, got up at 6:45, so really didn't get no sleep. But this morning when I got up, not say something was telling me, but I knew I needed to sit down and, spend some time with God and just, read the word as well as worship. So, because again, I just wanted to go back into bed, just want to go back to sleep because I'm just like, I'm tired. But, so when I was reading my devotion this morning, it just kind of like, it was funny. I read the whole devotional. I was like, I ain't getting anything from it. And then the last two lines on it, it hit me. It was just like, are you giving God your best? And I'm just like, I hear you. So that's what my A side is just being able to, even though I was tired, even though I am tired, I was able to still, spend time with God, give God my best first thing in the morning, even though I'm tired. And like I said, I received His word. I was able to worship. So it was like, I feel rejuvenated. I don't feel as drawn and tired, but that's my A side. Cause like I said, it was, once again, this devotional was just giving me these little nuggets that, not say we take for granted, but it's, yeah. So that's mine.
Okay. Right. So for me, mine's an A and a B. So we're pre-recording this episode because next week I will be out of town. And that has me excited because I'll be out of town for my residency for my master's program. It has me excited and nervous and all the things. as well as it's getting me closer to the finish line.
Yeah.
And the B side is that I'm going to be like completely away from my kids and my husband for a few days. So one, I although
You said that was your B or your A?
I said that's my B.
Oh.
I said
That's
my
what I was
A,
like.
okay.
I was
I
like,
said my A.
no.
No, I said my A was that I'm going.
Yeah.
And that, I'm excited, nervous, and all the things.
Gotcha. Okay.
And that, I'm getting closer to finishing my program. And
Yeah.
I said, and the B side of it.
Yeah, I missed that. I'm sorry.
And the B side of it is that I'll be away from my family
Yeah.
and my husband, for a few days.
Yeah.
And we are in our busy season as a family. Like, this May has been busy, right?
Yeah.
So I have to let go because I'm physically not going to be here, and pray that Jay has everything under control. And so it's just going to be weird. It's going to be weird us not sleeping together for
That's weird.
for those days. Yeah.
That's weird, yeah.
Especially like coming out of COVID. I would say this is like our first big trip. Like,
away from each other.
yeah, away from each other.
Yeah,
since,
we was in the same house when you had COVID.
Well, yeah, but but y'all saw me. Yeah, I was like
Yeah.
there, but
So
not
now,
interacting.
so
But
now,
yeah, so I won't physically be here. So yes, that's my B side. So I don't know how this is gonna work.
oh, it's gonna be fine. Like I said, it's going to be fine.
Says the father, the mother, and the mothers out there know what I'm going through.
Oh, I understand. I'm not taking that away. It's just, again, like you said, you do things a certain way and I do things a certain way.
Yes.
So it's going to be hilarious because the kids always, they always want to have fun with me. So it's for me to be,
Yes. That is so
even though
true.
like when I get stern with them, they kind of, so it's going to be interesting because they don't got you to run to. So if I tell them no, it's going to be no, period. They can't be like, I'm going to ask mommy anyway. So they can't do that. So
They very rarely do that. I'm the not fun. Like, if they need something, like, I take care of all the needs and whatever, and this is the fun parent. So.
But that's the dynamic. It's always one
Not
fun.
by choice.
Oh.
All right, so now moving on to our next segment, which is called P2P Share, where we share something that we're reading, watching, or listening to that we want to recommend you guys to check it out.
I'm just gonna go with. So I listen to this podcast once a week just because.
Oh my gosh.
No, it's not. Why you say, oh my gosh?
'Cause-
It's not crazy. It's Shaq in the big podcast. Like, if you think of it at first, people already think, oh, it's all about sports, and it's not. And it's just one of those things you listen to, and like I'll just be cracking up laughing because they have Spice Adams and they have Lady Nichelle from E. And it's straight comical what they do. Like, I wish I can actually watch like the video portion of them because the stuff that like Shaq is hilarious. Shaq and Spice Adams together, they are clowns. So if you want to listen to something, listen to that. And again, it's just something to get your, if you're stressed, it's just something that you're gonna, as well as if you want to watch something. I just thought about it. Season 4 of Demas and Mero. I have never watched it. I watched it for the first time, and it was like the very first. I don't even reason I watched the first episode of season 4 because it had Denzel Washington on it. They had this segment, Are you really a New Yorker? I was rolling.
Y'all are a special breed.
Yeah, I was rolling how like we really, you can pull somebody out if you're not from New York. And again, me in New York, are you from the city? Are you from upstate New York? Western New York? Like you can tell. So it was kind of hilarious. So
It was. We ended up kind of playing it. We ended up playing together because, I'm not a New Yorker.
Yeah.
So I was like, I think I can pick them out. I think The only one, was one I wasn't sure about. But then when you said, "Oh, he from upstate," I said, "Yeah, that's where he's from."
Yeah,
and we got it right.
But it was like, so being a New Yorker, when you say if you're from New York, you got to be from New York City. That's not. Yeah. That's being from New York. True. Mm-hmm. If you're from upstate Western New York, they're like, that's not really New York. So. No. But again, I'm not from the city. My family's from the city. I'm from Long Island, but so. Yeah. What about you, Bev?
I'm also gonna go with something that I'm listening to. I am really as part of my worship music. I've been listening to Maverick City music. I'm a big fan of them. They just released, so they have I would say a brother-sister group called Tribal Records, and they just released another album. So anyway, so they've just kind of been on a repeat. I just love how they have mixed gospel and Christian, those genres into one, and so their songs are true. There are songs that you can listen to when you're truly in a worship moment in your house and not have to worry about, it's going to play another song before I'm through worshiping, because their songs last a really long time, but it's all good. So I would, if you need any additional worship music, or you want to refresh, or just looking for a new artist, definitely check them out. I'm very excited. They're going on tour this summer with Kirk Franklin, and Kirk Franklin concerts are amazing.
Can't wait. I'm excited.
So I can't wait for those two to come together, combine, and see how this going to look. So,
yeah. I've always wanted to go to a Kirk Franklin concert.
I will never forget the concert he did at Lakewood Church.
When you trying to get into the family?
No, that was before. But I actually just went and literally was on my feet. We, praised and worshiped the entire time. Didn't realize we were 3 hours in. Mm-hmm. And he was releasing new music. Oh, it was amazing. So I really love artists who show their musicianship, in that it's not we're gonna sing one song. Song starts, song stops. Song number 2, song starts, song stops. I like when there is a continuous flow, and then allowing the Spirit to also come in and shift to another song.
Yeah.
And then come back to it. I love how he always does that. Him and Daddy Fred, and then that's also Maverick City does a lot of that too. So
you said Daddy Fred, people.
Fred Hammond, sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah,
See,
that's inside.
It's an inside joke.
That's what we're inside jokes. Yeah.
So, all right. So before we get started, since we're recording, pre-recording.
Okay.
Y'all probably don't see we were in Star Wars shirt, because today's May the 4th.
It is.
So for everybody who are Star Wars fans, May the 4th be with you.
Yes.
Yeah, I got her involved in this, so.
Yes. And actually, that's a good transition into what we're talking about.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Because today we're talking about creating a marriage that you love. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up, because I think so often, people are saying, you need to do this, your marriage needs to look this way, and your marriage should be this, and at the end of the day, you guys have to agree on, what your marriage is going to be, and you have to be supportive of each other, and be okay with just doing whatever works for you guys. Because that's the only way that you're going to create your marriage. You don't want to live your parents' marriage. You don't want to live your grandparents or any other, even you might have mentors or models of good marriages, which is great, but their marriage is still not yours.
Yeah, you can strive to have the type of marriage that you have maybe grown up to seeing with your parents or even your mentors, but you have to create the marriage that's for you guys, not what you may pull in things that they've done, but you need to create that atmosphere for your marriage, not for theirs.
Yes, so that's why we have an obsession with the word ideal. All of our companies have had some kind of iteration of ideal. Yeah. And so our, main company is called Ideally Yours, because we want you all to create something that is perfect for you, because that's what ideal is like. It's ideally your dream, your vision of whatever. So yes, that's what it was like. I thought this would be perfect.
Yeah.
So
that's good.
In that, I have like 3 areas or 3 tips, recommendations,
you got 3 points.
whatever.
You get your
I got my
3
3 points. Yes, got my 3 points here. That I feel will help you create, or at least get you thinking about what you want your marriage to look like, and then have that conversation with your spouse and figuring it out so that you guys have the perfect marriage for you. Okay? So the first one is it's okay to say no. It's okay to set the appropriate boundaries. And when I'm talking about setting boundaries, you have to set boundaries in dealing with your family, your friends, as well as with each other.
Yeah.
And so I guess when I say we need to set boundaries, say no, what comes to your mind first?
What came to first is setting boundaries. Like, one, setting boundaries with work, setting boundaries.
Oh yeah, I forgot. How did I forget about
does it work? And then with family, because we've said it in the past, like, you have to, because it's your marriage, you have to set boundaries for everybody else. That's how I look at it. And if you don't set these boundaries, then they're going to assume that they can do, say, or have a particular action. But if you set that boundary stating, this is what we're agreeing upon, this is how they're gonna have to deal with it. Can I give an example?
Sure.
So
not nervous at all.
No, it's not. So like one of ours was, like, when we got married, we said we're gonna get married and we're going to all inclusive, where there's gonna be no kids. We had some family members that was upset about it, but then again, this is us. We already set the boundary. It's like, no, we want to be in a location where we want to go where the people who want to come, that's going to come. On top of that, we just wanted to be where adults, we can enjoy ourselves. We didn't want the traditional flower girls throwing. No, we wanted it just to be a nice adult affair, and that's what we got.
Right, and also too, we wanted to get the most bang for our buck.
That's true, because we was paying that. We was paying that out of pocket.
Paying for it.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't pay for the guests to come, but we were paying for like the wedding and stuff, and so we know both of our families are. It's definitely Jay's extended family is very extensive, but mine can be too. Well, I have more like family. I have more friends that are real close. Anyways, we knew that they love to eat and love to drink and have a good time, and I was like, well,
let's put them in an atmosphere where they can enjoy themselves. Let's put them in an
atmosphere where they literally can. I love all inclusive. I love destination weddings because it allows all your guests to be removed from their day-to-day as well. So they can truly celebrate and focus on you and celebrate you guys' choices and be there, and then they can have a vacation at the same time. Yeah. So you're really getting like your guest's best self when you do a destination wedding.
And I'll say this, we had some guests for our wedding that they did photo shoots. So like they went there, they enjoyed themselves. They had a photo shoot and everything.
Photo shoot.
Yeah.
Crashed other weddings.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. My groomsmen, they crashed a whole nother wedding.
It was a great time. But we did set that boundary. But also we set the boundary of even after the wedding. Because it's like, so I'm the youngest of 3. Jay is in the midst of...
I'll just say for my dad, I'm the second to last. So there's 4 of us. I have a baby brother. Yeah.
And so your positioning your family, like your sibling order, also kind of helps define like how your family interacts with you growing up.
Yeah. Okay.
So me being the youngest, me being the youngest, I'm trying to figure out how to say this. Okay. With me being the youngest, I have been, because there's a significant gap between me and my brother and sister, I have been more free. I I lived my I feel like I lived my life like more of a single child.
Yes.
Because I will experiment. I was more like, we haven't done that before. Let's do this.
Yeah.
And I'm the planner. And so like for family vacations, whatever, I'm the one who like comes up with all the ideas, does all the research or whatever. But even in that, I had to be like, okay, yes, I can do some things. I can't do everything anymore.
Yeah.
Because now I have my husband. This is before we had kids. It's like now I have a husband, so I have to prioritize him and our family over that. Because one of the main things that we had to struggle with was that Jay's family lives all in everywhere.
On the East Coast,
everywhere, but they're mostly East Coast.
East Coast, yeah.
Okay, my family is here in Texas mainly, or the majority of them are.
Yeah.
So it's easy for holidays, and this is like, mind you, we had this conversation, no kids.
Yeah.
It was easy for me to be like, oh, well, we always gonna go to my family. Y'all gonna be with my family for holidays.
Yeah.
And that's not fair to Jay. So it was like we had to say, okay, family, every Christmas. Well, anyways, I don't have to tell y'all the arrangement. But anyways, we agreed on what our holidays would look like and how many we would spend with what family. And we, revisit it every so often because of travel or budget, financial goals. But we have like we had a plan on holidays are not going to be, you're not going to see me every holiday.
Yeah.
Because I got to prioritize my family, or my immediate family then. So it's just like, we set that boundary. Also, we talked about this a little bit in the last episode when it comes to money. It's a joint, like decision.
A joint account? Oh, yeah. It's like there's a joint account.
It's a joint decision. So don't come to me asking for money and do not think that we're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
Ideally, it would be best if you present the idea to both of us at the same time. But it's just like we've set boundaries with our families on kind of how to interact with us.
And even just like we've a couple episodes ago when we was talking about church hurt, we had we learned we had to set boundaries even there because we couldn't just be pouring all into us serving and not pouring into each other. Yeah. So we set boundaries that way as well. So it's kind of like even like how I said even with work, like you have to. When COVID happened, I was pretty much working, I would say 24 hours a day. And when we, as we're still in it, but I had to go back to work 3 months when we was in COVID. So I got to a point this year where it was like I have to say when I'm home, I'm home. When I'm at work, I'm at work, and separate the two because not to say I was getting burned out, but still I need to focus when I'm at home. I need to focus on my family. I need to focus on being present, not worrying about not say worrying about my job, but being more present with my job rather than with my family. So
yes. And then you also need to set boundaries within your relationship on even like how you can communicate. We've had some like early on we had heated conversations where we were yelling, but now we don't do that. It's like we're not going to, if a subject is too hot, we're not going to we're not going to start yelling at each other. Like at that point we were like, okay, well we need to take some time.
Have we even yelled? Because I think, I'm trying to think.
Early on, you don't think we yelled? Well, we raised our voices.
Okay, I guess when I think you're probably right because my voice probably got elevated, but I don't think I've ever screamed. Yeah,
no.
So that's why. Yeah, that's when you said that.
We never screamed at each other.
Yeah, no, that's what I was like.
But we've raised our voices.
Oh yeah.
That's what I was like. We've had.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, but. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. But now it's like, because we were like, no, that's when we know when we're about to cross the line, and we stop it as far as communication, because we know like nothing good is gonna come at us yelling at each other.
Yeah.
So
that doesn't solve anything.
Exactly. So we were like, nope. let's well, then we agreed, like, okay, but also too, we've agreed to start using our words more.
Yeah.
Like, because it's something that we have to remind our kids, and so we were like, we have to use our words because we're not mind readers. So we use your words, then we'll, be like, okay, I need a minute.
Yeah.
Like, completely away.
Not just a minute. Sometimes I was like, I need some time to process
but I'm just
this.
saying, we're using our words to communicate what we need, how much space we need before we can come back and talk about whatever the hard conversation is or the hard topic is. But I'm saying we set those.
Yeah. And it's like kind of what she's going as okay to say no. It's in that same type of realm. It's okay to hit the pause button if you're in a heated conversation like that. So it's like you can, but the thing is you can't just be like, I don't want to talk about it. That's not pausing it. You have to verbalize and say, okay, can we pause this moment right now? Let us walk away. Let us gather our thoughts, and then we come back and we continue to discuss it. Because it's all in how you say it, how you communicate it, body language, tone, all of that. So if you're just screaming, it's not gonna help. So
yeah, and then to that point when I said it's okay to say no, by you saying no to something, you're saying yes to something else that you have a higher priority for. And so when you're saying no to, you might be saying no to a thing, but you're saying yes to something that has a higher priority. Mm-hmm. And when I say that, and I associate it with boundaries, is because when you're saying no, that you're saying no to like being involved with, like, it could be you trying to be involved in everything. Mm-hmm. Like, so you might have been a part of a lot of organizations prior to getting married. You're going to have to say no to some things in order to say yes to building or having quality time with your spouse.
Yeah.
Or it could be that you had regular, like...
hang out with your girlfriends.
Hang out, yeah. Like, Margarita Wednesday. I don't know. I just made it up. I think it's on a show. But, or even to that point, you might have things that you would do with the girls when you're stressed, when you were overwhelmed, whatever. And it could have been like, hey, happy hour time. And you would go, y'all would meet, and y'all would vent. And, you just have girl time. Well, you might have to say no to some of those girl times in order to vent and, have that connection moment with your spouse instead of them. Uh-huh. And so that's why I was like, it goes also to like with boundaries, because you're saying no, because basically you saying no is your boundary.
Yeah.
Is your boundary setter. Like, and no is a complete statement. You don't have to explain. It's just no, not at this time. Yeah. Can't do it now. Mm-hmm. Or, you don't really have to say anything else besides no. And
even like for the fellas, for the men, like, I was a big activity person. Always wanted to do different sports. Yes. If it's again, because I was an athlete, so playing softball, playing flag football, playing basketball, doing all this stuff. At some point you got to be like, you got to stop it. You got to say no. So.
Yep.
So.
Yes, it's like you can't say no. No, you can't say yes to everything.
Because even like in the space that we are right now, like as much as I would have loved to coach both of my sons, I can't do it.
Well, you physically couldn't do it either.
But still, it's like I could have been like, yeah, okay, I'll do it, and then just figured out some way to be able to do it with work, be able to coach both. But it's like, if I do that, what am I taking away? Like. It's gonna be time being at home with you because I'll leave and just go. So it was.
Well, yeah, and that's what's like, because I joke with Jay all the time. Just because you can do it doesn't mean you should.
Correct.
Because he is a jack of all. He can do a lot of things, and even like on my time, like I can do a lot of things. But just because I can doesn't mean I should. Like, I think. One of my friends was saying with their son, they always have to remind him, you could be doing the right thing at the wrong time.
Yeah.
And so that's what it's like, making sure because basically when you're saying no to something, you're saying yes to the right thing at the right time. And you just got to make sure that those are in alignment.
Yeah.
So that, you're not missing, or you're not causing any issues within your relationship for the sake of others.
Yeah.
Or for the sake of appearances. That's a whole nother tangent.
Yeah.
We're not going to go there.
We're not going
okay? All right. So number 2 is that it's okay to create your own identity. And that it goes with number 1 too, in being that it's okay for your marriage to look different than what you see or what you've seen in your family, what you see with your friends. Yeah. It's okay. So, prime example, this. I didn't grow up as a Star Wars fan. I had no real interest in it prior to marriage. Now, my husband loves a good sci-fi. Anything. Movie, show, whatever. And he grew up going to the movies. Yeah. He grew up all the Star Wars, all the things.
Star Trek.
All the things.
Sci-fi, I pretty much, I watch them all.
So, I could say that could be just your thing. That could be your thing. Or I can be like, hey, let me dive in and try to figure this thing out. Because it's not easy. It's not simple. He doesn't like simple things, where it makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense to him. I'm still learning. But there's little things like me asking the questions. When I ask the questions about the backstory and the history, oh my gosh, his face lights up. And I'm like, I could be missing out on just that moment. Yeah. And the things. And then now that we have kids, he's passed the love of Star Wars onto them.
And movie night, same thing.
So we incorporate a family movie night.
Yeah.
We had to have a house where we could have it's a theater room, but it's really his room.
Okay.
It's the theater. It's our theater. It's the family theater room.
It's the family theater room, yeah.
But he decides everything about it.
Oh, that's true. But it's not.
I mean, it's colors, all the whole furniture.
But it's still for the family. Wait. Furniture, you got the furniture. I did everything else.
I had to fight all these days.
All my life.
My gosh, today. Because he, yes. And I still didn't win. I just got...
Oh, yeah, because what you...
Because I didn't get the color scheme.
Yeah.
Which was effective. But anyways. But yeah, so we have a theater room where now we have movie nights. And the kids are excited. That's a bonding moment now. Our Friday night movies with the concession stands.
Yeah, we have a little concession stand, drink.
And the tickets and the concession tickets, which they keep saying.
And see, that's the other thing, too, is, if there's something that your spouse, kind of agrees upon and even starts to, have that part of your marriage, your identity, my wife thought about the ticket idea. I didn't think about that. She thought about ticket, concession stand. I was just like, let's just have a place where we can watch movies. So now, like I said, the kids that's an incentive. Okay, if I get 3 tickets, I can get 3 things. So they look forward to being able to do good deeds during the week so they can get some tickets, extra tickets. So it's because again, we make it so if you go, if we went to the movies, what would you have to pay for? You gotta get popcorn. You gotta get drink. If you want to get some candy. So they have all that. They have all those options. Mm-hmm. So if you only get 1 ticket, you gotta pick what you want. Are you getting a drink? Are you getting popcorn? Are you getting candy or cookies? Yeah. You gotta pick one. You can't get all of them because you ain't earned it. So and that was all her. I didn't think about that.
So one thing that you can say about the Adams, this branch of the Adams, is that when we go in, we are kind of like all in.
That is true.
We can be a bit over the top.
Yes.
And we feed off of each We literally feed off each other.
Yeah.
So yeah, but with the tickets, it's truly too is like a parenting thing too.
Yeah.
I want them to be able to make decisions. Like you're gonna have to make choices in life, and you don't always get what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we do offer grace, and we give them popcorn for free.
Yeah.
And then they can use their ticket for whatever. But it's also too with behavior. That's how they earn them.
Yeah.
But anyways, this is like a thing that all developed because I was just like. It literally started with me trying to get to understand the Star Wars
Yeah.
on all the things.
Yeah.
And so now that's on May 4th, I only have 2 shirts. I'm still working on that. but yeah, it's like I'm supporting him. Yeah, I'm supporting him on that. Their traditions. Let me see. What traditions have we? Well, we've kind of made Christmas Eve be our tradition because we started that.
Yeah.
We didn't really. I'm saying growing up, the family was together, but we didn't do Christmas Eve like we do now until we got married and we made it a thing.
Yeah, because I can't really. Christmas was.
No, I know y'all don't celebrate Christmas Eve like.
It was just another day.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I know it. Yeah. I know that wasn't one of y'all's. But we created our own traditions.
Yeah.
As far as certain holidays. Juneteenth is now one of our big things.
Yeah.
So we've created our own traditions that are outside of the ones that we had growing up. What else have we done to create our own identity or not be like the norms of what an ideal relationship looks like?
Again, I guess that's where the whole B-side the whole concept of B-side is like, what you see on social media, relationship goes what you see. We've always had that as like, we're not going to look outside for how we want our marriage, but we're going to look in the inside and work from the inside. And from that, God's going to come out of us and people are going to see that. And like I said, we've, for years when people always kind of gravitate to us because they see, they see how we interact with each other, and just how, how much we really love and care for each other, how much we uplift each other, things like that. So it's like I guess, like I said, the B-side is kind of a culmination of all of that because, we never really look outward for, trying to get approval from other people of how our marriage is supposed to be, so.
Yeah, and I think one thing to kind of go off of that is that we genuinely like to spend time together.
Oh, yeah.
So our thing is when we hang out, we like to hang out together. Like we like to hang out with other couples. Yeah. Like we don't really do a lot of like just girls. Yeah, like we realize we don't do girls trips and guy trips.
Yeah.
we probably, we should, but not like a lot, but at least do one every so often.
Yeah.
But we tend to we like to vacation together. We like to vacation with other couples. Like we are very much, we're friends. We're best friends. Yeah. And so I did find that that's not always the case. A lot of groups are like, this is like the ladies, the wives, and that's the husbands over there. And when we do things, it's going to be like the husbands. We're going to go golf. We're going to go do the things. Yeah. And then the ladies, we're going to do our thing. And I was just like, which is great. You should have some girl time, some guy time. But I was like, but when are the couple, what are the couple events? Like, when are we always hanging out together? Yeah. Like, because honestly, It could be because I'm lazy. Like, if I'm hanging out with the girls and shenanigans are popping off, now I have to try to text him. I got to try to provide all the backstory to why that was so funny when I talked to him, to tell him what happened.
Yeah, because
Instead of him just being there, but like, you see?
Yeah, because when we be texting each other when stuff happens.
Because
like
we love
that.
to people watch. So that's why I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, and so things happen, then I'm like, man, I got to write it down. I got to like keep notes. Nobody want to do that when they're hanging out.
Yeah, that's...
So it just makes it easier
too
we're
much.
all hanging out together.
that is true.
But yeah, and I was just shocked. I was like, no one likes hanging out? Okay, cool. So yeah, so that's one thing that I found that it was interesting. I was surprised about that.
Yeah, it's still, not even gonna lie, it's still weird to even think to go on just a guy's trip. And again, you know, as my wife has said before, I am a people person. I like to be around people. But like my wife said, I don't know if I want to just be with guys, but it's this, you know, it's that same thing. Like, you know, for instance, when I went camping with my brother last year. That was the first time I actually did like a guy's trip. And the stuff that was happening, mind you, it wasn't anything real crazy, but just to be outside in nature, it was awesome. Like, it wasn't hot, it was cool, you know, there was no animals, like no bugs. So it was just dope. And so when I woke up in the morning, like, I was like, oh, she ain't here. So I had to record a video so I can be like, so it's like I was talking, but it's like, yeah, I just wanted her to be there.
But I would never.
She would have done that, so.
I'm not nature. And so that's why I feel like you should do, you should do like guy things, whatever. But I like to, because I guess it's kind of like an unofficial rule. Like, we can't experience something with someone else that we both want to do. Like, we can't go visit a place.
Yeah, like she can't go like the Bora Bora or
like
over there by a sub.
Like anything that we, especially if we both enjoy doing that thing.
Yeah.
You can't just go with your girls or
for the first time. You're not doing no.
Exactly. No,
ma'am.
You're not going to experience that. We're going to experience new things together, except camping, nature, whatever you have.
But
all of that.
Again, that's not something that's mutual. That's again, I didn't know I was going to like it either because, like I said, I never did that growing up.
This
so.
thing making me itch.
Oh goodness.
Something else I had just thought about and I lost it. Our relationship looking different. Also too, we prioritize to help with building our identity. We prioritize our relationship over our kids.
Forget them kids.
Over actually everything but God.
Yep.
Like it's God first, then it's us.
Them kids.
And then the rest.
Them kids, yeah.
Because we have to be a good example of what a healthy relationship looks like for them.
Yeah.
And I can invest all my time in them because they're going to get up and they're going to leave. They have to move out at some point.
They're gone.
So when they leave, what is that going to leave for us?
If we're not investing
If we're not investing in ourselves constantly. Mm-hmm. They're going to go out and live their life, which they're supposed to do, which I want them to do. Yeah. I want them to go and make their own mistakes and explore, run with their ideas and explore life and all the things. I don't want to be that mom, but like, hey, we're going to have girls' night. I'm going to be like, Mama, go home. No. I don't need you cramping my style. Like, I don't want to be that parent that can't release or feels like they have to live through their child or children because they're unhappy at home.
Yeah, no, that's true.
We are doing all of this, yes, to build wealth, generational wealth, and to break some generational curses. Mm-hmm. But we still gotta maintain us throughout all of it. That's why we have our us shirts. We don't have.
It's made of force, so good.
But we have us shirts. It's us, period. Because at the end of the day, it's just us, and we are responsible for our kids. But they don't make us who we are.
If you want the shirt, go check it out. It's in the link below.
Yes, because oh man, we really need to. We gotta have to like come on, producer, you're gonna have to put an image of it.
Okay.
To talk about it.
Yeah.
Because in the Us, there are different song lyrics because music is like a critical part of our relationship.
Yeah.
It has lyrics that apply to our relationship. So it's like Solid as a Rock.
Yeah.
I don't remember any more of the songs. I do remember. I know it's Solid as a Rock, Rest of My Life.
Mm-hmm. My Boo.
But
There's like 15, there's a lot of different songs on there.
That make up us because all of that made us who we are.
Yeah, so it's basically like it's all those songs, like I say, couple songs that you can think of that, that make who
like
you
our
are.
Representation
Yeah,
of your
representative of your
relationship.
relationship. So.
And then the period is solid because that's it. Period. Point blank.
Exactly.
Yes. So anyways, but that's why we have like the Us shirts because we put us before the kids. When we vacation every year, we're going to have a couples only vacation.
Mm-hmm. And we always wear a shirt and people be like, oh, I like that. In the airport, when we get because we always rock a couple shirt.
Now, yes, that's what I guess that is another part. We love a couple shirt.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Fellas, I don't know why you don't. It's fun to do that, man. It's fun to have like even when we got married, like.
Oh yes.
Like we had a shirt that, what was it? I can't now. It was like an arrow, like, and I can't even think of the shirt. It was a funny shirt though.
Oh.
She married you.
She married me. He married me, and now I can get his life insurance. Or something like
so it was like a funny. When people saw it, was like, just it makes me.
We started early with the shirt.
Yeah, we started early with the shirt. So so we still continue to do that. Like even just the actual logo for the B-side, like the image, the caricature. I don't know if I said it right. But that one, that shirt that we had that you see in the character is an actual shirt that we have that I had somebody draw. So
yes, so check out our store. They should be there.
Yeah, more shirts gonna be coming soon. So be on the lookout.
But yes, because we love to rock a shirt. We'll rock them pretty much anywhere. Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
Yes. The only thing is, sometimes it causes you have to have some kind of coordination because if it's like, certain ones you have to be with the person in order for it to make sense. Or
so you can't have you can't have better half and you have a half of a heart and then you only see BETHA and then like what's the rest?
Yeah.
Like you need both of them to be together or like
some of those,
like you see like some says help. And then if you don't have the mate, but everything's all right. Well, you need some help. Like you need some help. Like so like you have to have both shirts. So
yes, we like that. And so and then with couples, vacation, family vacation.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it. I think that's it on this one.
Yeah.
Okay, so the final one. This episode is much longer than I was expecting it to be. But
that's good though. That's good.
Talking. Okay. The third one is, it's okay to prioritize yourself within your marriage, within your relationship. I mentioned this briefly last time about how when you get married, you think in order for it to work, I have to minimize myself. I can't show up as my complete self to avoid disagreements, to avoid any friction, conflict, all that. And but in order for you to show up as your best self, you have to make sure that you're filling your cup. You can't pour from an empty cup. Mm-hmm. You have to be filling yourself, do things for yourself so that you can show up best for your spouse and for your family. Mm-hmm. I am learning this year.
Even 14 years in.
Okay, so I should say I'm learning it. I knew it.
But now you're living.
I'm actually doing it.
Yeah.
Like I'm being intentional about prioritizing me, my desire, not my desires, but my passions. Mm-hmm. And it's okay. It's okay. And honestly, I feel as though I show up better for my kids. I would say so one of the things I do is I am been walking because I'm trying to lose weight, but I'm also like just trying to be more centered is the right word, right? I'm trying to be more at peace and be present in the moment because I find myself, especially with Jay's job schedule, when I'm parenting by myself, I am more of a like I'm just like all about right or wrong. Like y'all need to be doing this, and I'm more focused on what they're doing wrong versus what they're doing right. Because I was raised like you should be your kids should do this. So it was always like correction.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna go there because I'm about to get spiritual, but I'm not gonna go there. But so it's always about correction and like pointing out what was wrong, what they could be doing better. It was like never like positive. Like I found myself I was just never being positive and affirming when they were doing something good. And it changed there was a mood in the household.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I'm responsible for setting the atmosphere of my home. So I take walks. First of all, I start my day off with God in His Word, praying. And then I take walks. And I was like, this is a health benefit as well as it's just a mood shift, a mindset change. Yeah. And it now allows me to be more present in the mornings because mornings were not a good time for us for a long time. It was a lot of yelling or whatever. And so, but now it's like, hey, things are getting a little crazy. Y'all know what y'all supposed to do. Y'all are choosing to not do it. But what you're not going to do is affect my peace. And I've just been like, I feel like I've been more peaceful. I've remove myself from the situation when things, because our oldest, he will test me, but I was like, hey, you know what? I feel like I'm about to lose control of my emotions. I'm going to walk away. I'm going to let you work it out, and I'm going to keep my peace over here. So I feel like that has allowed me to be better, as well as I'm prioritizing my sleep. Yeah, that's a big one. And that's a big one. I feel like that's huge for us. Yeah, that is. In our relationship because we've mentioned this before, how we would just go to sleep at different times. But I'm like really been a stickler on, hey, we need to be asleep at this time. Yeah. Not just in the bed. Yeah. Sure. But in order for us to be asleep at that time, it means we have to stop what we're doing, be in the bed by this time so that we can truly be asleep, where we're getting our hours of sleep. Yeah.
And like I said, she checks me on this because we'll get on the bed and I'll just be sitting in the bed with the lights on. Still, she'd be like, "You gonna turn the lights off?"
I was like, "What are you doing?"
I'd be like, "Oh yeah, I'll do that." And so no, but like I said, that again, like we said before, this has been prioritizing that time has allowed us to help us get our sleep, but at the same time, it is also allowing us to even have some, I don't say decompression time, but for us to be able to, just talk about either what happened during our day, how, anything that God may have said to us. So we're able to kind of have that conversation before we go to bed. So again, it helps, I don't say it helps, but it allows us to have that emotional connection even before we go to bed. So it's like we set that atmosphere before we go to bed. So yeah.
Yes, because it was days, or I would go like a week or so where I couldn't really sleep because even in my sleep, I'm going I had all these thoughts, all the to-dos, all the things. And I was just like, my sleep is not even restful. Yeah. And I was like, no, we're going to take this back. We're going to talk or do, whatever, decompress. And then I am going to sleep. And I'm getting a restful sleep because I need this. Because also, too, with his work schedule, with Jay's work schedule, that puts more me having to be, on top of things in the household. And on the weekends, that could be, especially Sundays. Sundays can be tough if I'm not prioritizing myself throughout the week. So then when it comes, I'm already depleted.
And it's depleted, and then
and then trying to get all the things,
Yeah.
and then trying to make sure we're starting our weeks off right.
Yeah.
No. So it's okay. It's okay to prioritize yourself. All right. So did you have anything else on that?
No, I think you pretty much kind of we addressed everything that was kind of on there. So I think saying no, creating your identity, and it's okay to prioritize yourself was pretty good. So.
Oh, I do have another.
Oh,
thing.
okay.
I just thought about it. Okay, so it goes back to the identity. Mm-hmm. So some people think, or there's a society would say, by checking in, that that means that your husband is too protective, or that you are, like, there's a taboo around being submissive to your husband. And I don't think that, and I think that goes back into your identity. I know, what?
I'm just, because I guess what the people say is wrong, because I've always, like, even when we just started dating, we were doing long distance, I checked in with you. I told you what I was doing all the time. I know,
but that doesn't always happen. That's what I'm saying.
I didn't do it because I was trying to make, like I say, lack for a better word, make you feel better so that I can hide stuff. No, that's just who I am. I was letting you know, yeah, I'm going here. Mind you, you probably didn't know. It was like, okay, I don't know where that's at.
I didn't know where I was, but yes. But that's what I'm saying. But if you are, like, trying to, like, if you're easily influenced by others, that could be something. Like, oh, we can't do that because I don't want people to think, and I don't want. Oh. And that was like, that's why you just have to be confident in what you guys set up to do, because, like, I appreciate it, even though I didn't know what he was doing. Like, I didn't know the places he was going. I'm like, okay, sure. But even now, like, I'm going to check in. I'm like, hey, plans have changed. I'm going here. I mean, it's safety. And also, it's just kind of like, just not physical safety. It's just like a relationship safety kind of thing, like mechanism. Like, I just want him to know that, yeah, I do care that he cares. Mm-hmm. So this is where I'm at. This is what I'm doing. If the people have changed, like, this is the crowd. If people have shown up that were unexpected, I'm like, hey, so and so is here. So I'm gonna be checking out.
And then on top of that, she says I stalk her anyway, because.
Then yes, well that.
Cause we have an app. Again, not to say I need to know where she at. If I haven't heard from her in a while, I want to make sure she's good. So I'll just check. I have an app. We just check, and she can do the same thing. I don't think she does it, but I'll just go make sure, and then I'll send her a message. Everything's good. She responds.
The only thing I do is what's your battery? Come, like, you need to charge your battery, sir.
Yeah, that's the only time you actually look at it.
I'm gonna need you, because I don't know where you are. If you'll have, I'm gonna need you to have that battery.
Like, even to kind of go with that, is like, if you have an iPhone, you can actually set up a shortcut on your phone to, if you're in an accident, if you're being stopped by the cop, like, it could be whatever you create, and what it does, it you can, like, for instance, and I'm just.
Oh yeah, I remember we were testing that out.
Yeah, so, like, for instance, if I get stopped by a cop at night or period, I just tell the person on the phone, I'm not gonna say it because I don't want her to start talking. You can, and it'll pop up and it will automatically start that shortcut. So it'll, like, for me, I'll say a certain phrase, video will start recording, it will send her a note, my location, with a message saying, I got stopped by the cop. And then when it's done, she gets a video. Like, so you can do all this stuff. So if you're in a crisis, not saying a crisis, but if you got into an accident and you can't actually physically touch your phone, you can do that and say, and that will let your spouse know that, okay, you need to react to something. So.
Yeah, and this was like, it works for us.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. And I'm okay with checking in or checking in. I'm also okay with like running a decision by my husband before making it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a matter of like, oh, he's trying to rule me or, you know, whatever, try to keep me under his thumb.
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, so this is the whole thing. So this is why you can't just marry anybody. I feel like I go on a tangent every, anyways. So you can't just marry, like, that's why it's important who you marry. Because if you feel as though running an idea or checking in with your spouse is a controlling thing, then then why don't you marry him?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I value his input. Yeah. I value him as the head of our household. I value him as my husband. So because I value him, I'm going to be respectful of him in those positions, as well as I'm going to include him. Mm-hmm. Because there's nothing that I do either directly or indirectly impacts our household.
Yeah.
So, and it's going to have an impact on him.
Mm-hmm.
Even by me going back to school. Okay, I went back to school. I'm the one that have to study, whatever. But it's impacting our finances because we are paying for it. Yeah. Not just me, we are paying for it. It also impacts my time. Mm-hmm. And then, like, with residencies, like, it impacts our, schedule in the household. So I'm like, there's always going to be some sort of knock-on effect of whatever decision I make. Mm. Even if I'm just going out and hanging out, I'm like, stressful day. I still have to be responsible for the kids. Like, there's still things, and then that impacts him as far as time and, like, what we're going to eat. I mean, there's small things to big things. Yeah. But anyways, if I did not value him, if I did not trust him, then why did I marry him?
Good point.
Those are not, that's what I don't, anyways. Make sure, you gotta check yourself and who you're marrying, because like I said, looks, they're great, but they ain't gonna be, like, you need more than looks to stand on. Life is tough. If it's only based off of looks, you're gonna be out there by yourself.
All this right here.
All right.
Fine. No.
Okay, Martin. All right. So now on to our marriage advance tip, which is, I'm just going to read the quote. It's like, make your marriage your own. Don't look at other marriages and wish you had something else. Work to shape your marriage so that it is satisfying and perfect for both of you. That's
good. Just, kind of just to add with that, just think about, the movie Ghost. Or when it was talked about molding whatever they was making. That's what you're doing. You guys are both putting your hands. I don't know why I got a cough or something. Y'all both are using your hands to mold your marriage in the way you want it to be. So you're going to have to continue talking. I don't know why I got a tickle. Oh, my goodness.
Yes. To finish, it's both of you guys putting your hands in the mess, in the clay, molding and shaping it, and deciding together, like, what is it going to look like? What shape is it going to be? What you need to work on, you need to do more, you need to apply more pressure over here in order to make this little whatever y'all making. But that's what I'm saying. Y'all got to work together to create what it is. So that it is, like, literally at the end of the day, it just needs to work for you two.
Yep.
It needs to work for you two. And honor God. It needs to honor God. It worked for you too.
Yeah.
So that's it.
All right. Well, if I was about to cough again.
Please be sure to follow us on all the socials. Facebook. Well, not all the socials, just Facebook and Instagram, YouTube. And then just, comment. Let us know. What do you think about what we talked about? And if you have any ideas, please be sure to put it in the comments or you can tag us, and we will see it and we'll incorporate it into the schedule. Until next time, peace.